The focus for today's session is truly going to be on the unlicensed user experience, right? So we don't have that direct integration into all of the work data. We do have some integration, but not everything. Let's go ahead and start with the navigation. This is something that, again, we have seen change in the recent past. Not really a huge change in any way, but just slight tweaks that are happening here. And so the app launcher now is the ease of access way that we get to the create module in the unlicensed user experience. Licensed users have a little bit more, like Copilot notebooks for licensed users would be here too. And then all of your applications for centralization. Search is still your main search experience. This is just, hey, enterprise search. You enter in keywords or phrases like the legacy way of searching before, but it is for unlicensed users, slightly AI integrated as well. You can also utilize some of these prompts built in, like, let's see, you are my AI industry research, and this is just a prompt and some output that I submitted. Give me feedback on this. All I have to do is click on this option, directly takes me over to Copilot Chat, prompts for me, references that particular file, and now it starts to lay out how to review this overall material. Going back to the left side navigation out of search now into library, this is now where we're aggregating all of that AI generated material. Right now, two distinct areas as you see, Copilot Pages as well as imagery. Agents really are focused on doing something very specific for you. They help to automate a particular process. Prompt Coach helps to automate the process of creating a prompt. Now, finally, chat history. These are all the previous chats that I've had with Copilot. If I do need to go back, short-term chats, but we are adding new functionalities to do more like long-term memory style functionalities with Copilot. What I mean is, I can go to the main chat experience and I can say something along the lines of, summarize the last 5 chats we've had into 5 bullet points. 1 chat per 1 bullet. So these are the last few things that I've talked to Copilot about. And you may be curious, okay, how does Copilot do this? What functionality enables this? And this is what we call Copilot Memory. Copilot Memory allows you to, number one, personalize your chat experience based on personalizations that you can add, like how do you want Copilot to speak? What projects do you work on? What sources or topics of information are you interested in? What is your role? And along with this Copilot Memory capability, let's go to settings here. You'll notice personalization. We have these functionalities. So here is custom instructions. This is how I can get Copilot to always respond to me in the ways that I directly require. I can edit these instructions. It gives me some options. So try these out, play with them. These custom instructions are always in place unless you elect to turn it off or toggle it off. Saved memories are where you can directly store any of those built-in memories from Copilot, where you tell it what your personalization preferences are in chat, and it saves those and applies those to future conversations if they align to what that memory may be aligned to. And then finally, chat history. This is frontier. This is very new. And this then allows me to talk to Copilot about a lot of those previous chats. So it has all of that rich context about what I'm talking to it with. Finally, before we get into any form of prompting, the prompting box experience in the middle, we now see this still pretty much the same, but some slight changes. First and foremost, really the changes are around prompting, right? So we have now these prompt categories that are at the bottom of my prompting box. These directly correlate to prompts that Microsoft makes available to every single user experience. If I'm trying to do something along the lines of rewriting or creating or summarizing or finding and searching, I can leverage these to get started and then add my context. I can also now click on the ellipses to open up the full prompt gallery, and this gives me access to hundreds upon hundreds of prompts. So I'm going to just voice. I love using voice. Provide me the latest updates on Microsoft 365 Copilot. Note that there's a lot of ambiguity here. What update am I interested in, or features or functionality? I say the latest updates, but what is the actual time frame? Is it within the last 6 months? Is it the last 3 months? Where do I want to source my data from? Should I pull from only Microsoft sources? Or should I pull from a particular blog or our technical documentation? Right? How do I want the format to be? The outcomes? Do I want it in table? Bullet list? We didn't include any of that. So you have to always remember that Copilot will make a ton of assumptions. And so that doesn't necessarily mean this is bad, but it may not align to exactly what I want. And that's why then you review, right? So you review all of this and you identify, does this relate to what exactly I need? And this is where honestly a lot of people give up. They feel like, I just want Copilot to work for me. I get it. But you have to realize that Copilot can't read your mind. It doesn't know all of those things around you inherently. If you want it to work, you have to do two approaches here. You have to be very structured and detailed in your prompts, or you have to keep it conversational based on the outputs you receive. This is why we always say context is king. Context that you feed it will provide you richer and more relevant results. One of the approaches I take is I literally just word blab at this thing. I just think about what's in my mind and I just regurgitate without filters directly out there what I require, what I'm thinking of, no structure whatsoever to see what it would give me back. And honestly, it does a really good job most of the time when I do that. Actually, what I really need here is I need any of the latest updates for improvements in the Copilot in Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel experiences. Specifically, I need updates that have happened within the last 3 months. I want you to pull from data sources on the official Microsoft blogs. I do believe that there's the tech community blog that's out there, and I think there's a lot of good rich data in the What's New blog posts that are posted in that particular blog. So source your data from there. Expectation wise, can you also format this in a table for me? I prefer tables, so don't really care about the headers, but a table format should work nicely. And yeah, let's start from there. See, just keep it natural, keep it light. Just talk to it a little bit. Give it some really good depth and detail in what you want. Align it better to what your expectations are. And then you start to see where it aligns better to what you need. What we're going to do is we're going to add structure into our prompt. So we're going to go over to Prompt Coach and we're going to have Prompt Coach create that structure for us. And I'm going to be very ambiguous first and foremost. So I'm going to take the exact same prompt here. I'm going to go to Prompt Coach and I'm just going to say, recommend updates and improvements to this prompt. I'll put that prompt in double quotes and I'll also say, format the new prompt in a code block so I can see again why this can be improved. It's talking to those components. I said this earlier. Scope ambiguity, time frame not defined, audience or purpose missing, no source guidance, output expectations unclear. So that's where the ambiguity comes in, where I'm like, oh, I just don't like it. It doesn't look good, right? That's when, again, in those scenarios where we are ambiguous, we need to keep talking to it. Tell it what's right, tell it what's not right. And now, look at that one prompt and how it's taking those components that it stated to me and it's improving it. Copy that out, good. Go back over to chat, paste it in, and go. And now, the initial output I get is better aligned to my expectations. General note as well, we do have the model picker for unlicensed user experiences. I'll select Think Deeper. I really like the Think Deeper components, but it does take some time to actually have it do some stuff. Let me copy out a prompt here. So aligned to Microsoft's recommended best practices for prompting. We'll submit this off and we'll talk to it as it processes. So our goal here is compare the pricing tiers of the 3 leading project management tools. Think Deeper, look, it's reasoning. So everything reasons. You have the full transparency trail of exactly what it's reasoning through. And the way that I think about this, all right, I humanize as much in AI as I can because it helps me to better understand. This is my intern. I need to be detailed in the fact that, hey, I need to describe to the intern what I want. And if someone like is coming to me and it's saying, okay, Nick, I have this question. If I'm a subject matter expert and I know everything about that question inherently, bam, I have that quick response and I'm good to go. That's what, again, the quicker response option might provide. Think deeper though. Someone comes to me a question, maybe it's like more complex. Maybe I have to do more research and I have to really ideate through it a little bit before I respond. I'm thinking mentally, I'm planning out the approach. I'm trying to figure out how do I do this in the most efficient way. And then I respond. So, anyways, we have all this good stuff. Now, I mentioned Pages, Copilot Pages. This is really good stuff. I might want to share this initial analysis report with my team. Like, hey, I did a little bit of brainstorming. Here's the evaluation. I do think, ClickUp Business would be good. Let's send this to a page. Just click the little edit pencil at the bottom of any Copilot AI output, and now we have this built-in dynamic notes-taking page. As a best practice, I always recommend you name your page. So I would say this is PMO tool comparison. And then now I have this page that I can do more with. I can either create a Word document out of it or a PDF document out of it, automatically built in. I can share with my colleagues in real time and they can real time collaborate with me, whatever it is I might need to do. And then in chat, I can reform it in different ways. I can expand, I can focus on particular topics, I can get into the nuance of information, and then I can inject more output into the page while my team reviews everything else. All right, so images. Let's create an image. Create an image of a new Microsoft 365 logo in a cityscape style design with the text Microsoft 365 Copilot overlaid in the logo, and add some creative design principles in the back end. Use a pixel art style, and let's just see what that creates. So we have this picture, pretty cool. I don't like the logo. Again, sometimes like logos and stuff don't aggregate correctly into pictures, but something to start from, right? What's really cool about this too is I can click on edit and I can inline edit some of these images that I create as well. So I have like the designer, Microsoft Designer capabilities, so I can again crop, enhance, modify background information. I can also go directly to the create module via the app launcher. This is where you have a bunch of templates and materials that you can start from. These are all AI created materials. Everything in here, if I hover, you see the prompts behind there. Again, I can start from these. I can choose from different styles, color palettes, orientation. I can create documents, video content. So back in chat, what about vision? If anybody here was a regular business user, how would you understand the way Copilot works? Right? I could show you a data flow diagram. You're gonna look at this and be like, what does this even mean? What is it doing? Like, I sort of get it, but I don't. And then me as like a facilitator, how do I explain this? How do I explain it in a way that's easy for somebody to understand? And this is where you can take a picture of anything and have Copilot analyze it and work with you to create those better explanations. So I'm going to take a picture. I'll paste that picture in. There's a little pasted picture. I could also click on the plus, upload images and files if it's like located on my local device. And I'm going to just voice. I want you to create 2 sections of explanation for me. In the first section, reviewing the attached picture, I want you to provide me a regular business user explanation of what you see happening in the picture, provided in a step-by-step process format, and to create easier explanations, include an analogy and a metaphor to explain it differently. And then in the second section, I want a highly and detailed technical explanation of what is happening in the picture. Shows how Microsoft 365 Copilot works behind the scenes. It found that by looking at the data in the picture. So you can gain meaning out of imagery and educate yourself in the way that you prefer. I really like to do like analogies and metaphors. Think of Copilot like a corporate research assistant. You ask a question, the assistant searches all your company approved files. This is talking about licensed functionality, by the way. The assistant consults a powerful AI expert, delivers a clean, useful answer back to you instantly. So, and then we have our second explanation, technical deep dive. You wanted to understand the technical specifics. So that's image visualization. You can upload any images. Pretty cool there. Let's do this. Search for the current market share of AI products, specifically focused on OpenAI, Anthropic, Google Gemini, and Microsoft 365 Copilot, and provide a table of information based on the current market share. So we have this information, a lot of these numbers, quantitative data points, some good stuff there. Visualize the market share in a pie chart. The ability to obtain data points or reference an Excel file and have it look and correlate that data, then visualize that data directly via chat, very useful. It will code in Python, generates Python code. Here's the pie chart visualization. What's really cool is just recently we've now updated the data visualizations to where certain ones are interactive. So if I hover, you see the numbers. I've had some questions as well. If these go to a Copilot page, are they interactive? Yes. Clicking on the plus button, adding work content, uploading files, attaching cloud files. If I want to reference data that already exists inside of OneDrive or SharePoint sites, I can do that. Like I have this Marcus Webb deal particular SharePoint site with a bunch of data files. Like here's a recording agreement term sheet. I can select that file, and now I'm telling the AI go directly to this file. So we have our files, we can get meaning, we can ask questions, we can understand without ever opening the file, and any file that you directly target, you can directly open up inline and review simultaneously. And there's the full file. Pretty cool. All right, some good stuff inside of there. So we can review all of that information. Referencing files as well. What's also really nice is if you upload files from your local device, those files are stored in your OneDrive for safe and secure storage. Microsoft Copilot Chat files, right here. A new folder is created. Everything that you directly upload from your local device is stored in this file folder in your OneDrive. The only app experience today now that has Copilot Chat built in is Outlook. Okay, and it just received an update. So in the Outlook experience today, you now have the ability to talk to Copilot about your entire inbox. It used to be you had to have a particular email thread open. I have to have this open, and look, it's referencing that one open thread, okay? But now I can also just say, summarize all current updates in my mailbox that need my attention from my email in the last 1 month. So then again, now in Copilot Chat, without a license, I can aggregate data from my mailbox. I can have it help me create responses to my mail. I can do all kinds of stuff. Besides that, that is it for me for today. So if you like the content, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Everybody's support here, always appreciated. I hope that I was able to provide some of you, if not all of you, at least some knowledge or something new, something different to try out, different ways to use the experience, or new functionalities to experiment with. And if you found value out of that, thumbs up button gives me a little bit of value back. So I very much appreciate it. Any videos that we have on the channel you take a look at, leave comments. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always very respondent in my comment section as much as I can be. So thank you all so much. I hope all of you have a great rest of your week. We'll see you in the next one, everyone. Have a good one.